last year. I am teaching physics online for past 4 years. My father's name is Devendra Singh. I was born in Ludhiana, Punjab. Today I am going to teach a physics topic which is in mechanics, that is distance and displacement, their definitions, what is main difference between both of them, and speed and velocity, their definition and difference between both of them. So for them, let me start a board. First of all, what is distance? Distance word is mainly used in our general life. When we have traveled some distance, then we use word distance, that I have traveled some distance. In physics, there is same meaning, but we use in our general language. But displacement have some other meaning in physics. So first we see what is distance. Let you are at point A. This is point A. Let me mark it. This is point A. There is second point, that is point B. And let me draw a third point, that is C. Here. So first, you start traveling from point A to point B, which is let 10 meter away. So you travel from point A to point B. So from point A to B, your distance is 10 meter. You can say that you have traveled 10 meter. Then from B, you again traveled to point C, which is again 10 meter away. So now the total distance traveled by you is 10 meter from A to D and 10 meter from B to C. Total is 20 meter. That is your distance. When you travel from point A to point C, your final distance is 20 meter. Now let me discuss about displacement. What is displacement? There is a little difference between distance and displacement, and very important to know what is main difference. In definition, we can say that displacement is this difference between your initial position and final position. So if we see this example and we have to find displacement, we already find distance, total distance from A to C was 20 meter. Let me write here, D for distance was 20 meter. Now, if we need to find displacement, then what we have to do is we have to see first initial position, which is point A, and final position, which is point C. We have not to care about point B, which was at mid. What we have to see only point C and point A. So find the distance between point A and C. We can use a ruler here when dealing with graph, or we can actually find distance using meter rod from point A to point C. Let this distance is uh, 8 meter, then we can say that displacement is only 8 meter. So uh, when the person traveled from point A to B, then C, then his total distance was 20 meter, but his displacement dr, that is only 8 meter, because displacement is path difference between initial point and final point. We have not to take care about the actual path covered by the person. So in terms of definition, we can define distance and displacement both. Distance is actual length of path covered by object or person. That is distance. Actual path, actual length of path covered by object or person is called distance. And displacement is difference between final position and initial position. That is displacement. One more important difference between both of them is distance is a scalar quantity. That means it has magnitude, unit, but not direction. But other side, displacement have direction also. So when we have to write displacement, then only 8 meter is not valid. We have to write 8 meter due north, due south, due, we can write it in angle, we can write in direction in south, east, west. So when we have to write displacement, we have to write 8 meter due north. Due north is direction, which is very important to describe displacement. So this can tell us that distance is only a scalar quantity and displacement is a vector quantity because it has both magnitude as well as direction. Uh, Now in next topic, we will cover speed and velocity. Let me delete all this. Now, what is speed and what is velocity? We use word speed in our general life. When we ride our bicycle or ride motorbike, then we say, oh, you are approaching higher speed. Don't go with faster speed. Don't increase your speed while uh, traveling. So speed in physics have same meaning what we use in general life. That is how rate of distance, time rate of distance covered by object or person, that is called speed, which can also be called rate of motion, time rate of motion. In 1 second, how much distance is covered by object or person, that is speed. While defining speed, we do not care about direction because speed is a scalar quantity, and the definition of speed in physics can be speed which is described as v, that is d over t, where d is distance covered by object and t is time taken by object to cover that distance. So as distance have no direction, which we already studied in previous topic, that distance has no direction. So velocity will also have no direction. Now as distance is total length of path covered by object, so velocity will be defined as total length covered by object upon total time taken by object to cover that distance. On the other hand, we have velocity, which have a little different meaning in physics. What is velocity? V is displacement per unit time, delta r over t. Now delta r is displacement, and we already studied that displacement is final position minus initial position, and it has direction also. So velocity will also have a direction because it is ratio of displacement over time. So difference between speed and velocity is speed is deals with only distance and velocity deals with displacement. So velocity will have direction. So how can we use these words in general life? For example, uh, we use he was riding his bicycle with speed 10 meter per second. So we know that he was riding his cycle or bicycle or bike, and his speed was 10 meter per second, but we don't know from where he was going and what is his destination. But describing velocity, we use direction. So let me make a sentence which can describe velocity in general meaning. Uh, During a journey from Amritsar to Ludhiana, his average velocity was 30 meter per second. Now we can say that in this sentence we have both magnitude, which was 30 meter per second, plus we have direction. He was traveling from Amritsar to Ludhiana. So we know that he is traveling from one point to another point, and so direction is also available here in this sentence. So this is velocity. We can describe velocity with using a speed plus direction. So speed is only rate of motion and velocity is rate of motion plus direction. Or, or we can say that velocity is speed plus direction. So these are the topics we only covered, definitions and basic difference between both. In next topic, we will cover some numerical problems in which we have to find distance covered by object, displacement of object, its speed, its velocity, types of speeds, types of velocity, and other things. So this is all for today. Thank you. See you in next session.